Alright guys, welcome back to Valorant News. The Soup Valorant League is officially underway and a big result on day one. Sentinels played Gen.G, drama at the end of the series with a pause coming through. Lots of drama hitting the timeline between the CEOs of the two respective organizations as to whether this was called for by Gen.G, whether this was unfair. Zekin gives his perspective on the matter as well, but Sentinels with absolutely the start that they wanted to this tournament to prove that they can be a serious contender for the upcoming season. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. The Korean skincare goes crazy. First of all, we have a new agent coming relatively soon, another one into Valorant. This time, I think he's an initiator, isn't he? Here we go. Actually, that was, yeah, this is the one. Yeah, initiator, Colombian. That's all we know so far. That's coming soon. Did just have this tweet up from Apex because there's a couple of Rostermania things just that we've got to go through. Starting here, actually. So, Odorous is joining Apex as their new strategic coach. Thought that was kind of cool because, of course, Odorous has been a notable name in the Tier 2 side over the last couple of years. And Apex are trying to, well, form something pretty emphatic for the upcoming season. MAT as well. We know that they partnered recently with another organization, whatever they were called, and they were teasing a return of MAT to Valorant. Of course, they played Challenges the last couple of years. They played Ascension the last couple of years. They lost for the last couple of years. Then they blew up their team. Xander's gone, Koala Noob's gone, etc., etc. They've, you know, some of those guys gone to the Pro League, obviously. So then the question was, all right, if MAT are going to come back again, are they going to say, you know what, third time lucky, this time we're going to win it? That's, you know, more easy said than done, I would say. And there are some great teams right now down there in Tier 2. And of course, MAT don't maybe have access to the guys that they used to because they've now, a lot of them have been signed up to Tier 1 regardless. So what are they going to do? Are they going to look at an unsigned roster, good team, but playing for a non-organization, bring them in? Are they going to go and get the rankers, you know, Inspire J and those boys? But yeah, not saying we have a new Valorant roster, but if we did, holy smokes, did we cook? So yeah, stay tuned for what MAT are going to say on that one. Furia, by the way, they confirmed everything yesterday. Of course, we've heard these rumors here for some time, but Havoc, Muzera, Khalil, Rafa, and Heat, that's going to be a roster. Are they going to be any good? Yeah, I don't know so much. I think the Havoc pickup is interesting. I'm excited to see how he gets on. I'm hoping that this season for Havoc is like, he can take that next step, really, that he needs to take. There's some talent on the roster, as we know from the Brazilian scene in general. But yeah, Loud, MIBR, they've made some interesting moves. I think MIBR is the team I'm most excited for in that region just because it's Aspas, right, to see how he gets on. And of course, what Lev have done with their roster as well. We did also see this, just a conclusion to the off-season Spotlight series. G2 goes and got the dub. Obviously, Jorgamo subbed in, and as soon as Jorgamo was subbing in, it was never going to maybe end especially well. But yeah, GT goes and took the dub. Banger series, actually, against this kind of Cloud9 outfit here. 13-11 on the binds, and then an overtime on the Pearls, 17 to 15 in the end. Oxy tried his best, but it wasn't enough. Leaf, Trent, Amy, Mimi, and Jorgamo, they get the dub. Obviously, people are going to say justice for Rossi, because Cloud9 dropped him. They played this kind of, mixed tourney with Sarah Cat and Alexis in there too, and they lost. So Rossi, I'm sure, had a little bit of a grin on his face last night. There was also this noted. So there's some invitational tournaments going down. We know that Neon is getting nerfed soon. It's not 100% clear whether Neon is going to get nerfed so much that she becomes useless, but her pick rate will definitely decrease massively. I think it's not impossible that she could still be viable in certain situations, but with only one slide and with the changes they've made, it looks very unlikely that Neon's going to be used as she presently is. So the pros have decided just to ban her, right? Because the patch hasn't arrived yet, and therefore there will be Neon compositions currently being used. So the theory therefore goes, all right, let's just ban it, not even bother, and therefore we're playing with compositions that are going to be more realistic once the nerf actually does come through. So I do understand this. It's effectively a gentleman's agreement not to use Neon, but who knows? I mean, is Neon going to get 0 pick rate once the VCT returns? I don't think so. I think there might be a scenario where, yeah, Neon's been great for recent times, and that is going to change. But of course, teams have understood that in certain situations, she can provide value. So I think that she'll still be around in part. So I'm not sure banning her is entirely the best idea. But we also saw this yesterday as well. So this is the kickoff bracket in the Americas, and here are your 12 teams. Furia play 2G, Cloud9 play NRG, a big first round game. 100T MIBR is a banger. EG Louds, they simply can't avoid each other again. Yay versus Louds, all that type of stuff. The teams, therefore, they get the bye based on performances at the end of last season. Lev, G2, Sentinels, and Crew Esports. And, I mean, again, this is set up to be a banger, isn't it, right? Because you got EG Loud, winner plays Crew. MIBR 100T, winner plays Sen. That's like mega to me, because either it's going to be Aspas if they win versus Sentinels, or it's going to be your absolute standard every single year America's Kickoff Sentinels 100T that we always seem to get. So that's probably what we're going to see there. G2 versus, you know, NRG or something, that would be a banger. I'm just assuming Cloud9 are going to lose at this point, but maybe they wouldn't. And then 2G Fury 11 on the other side as well. So a pretty banging bracket. Obviously, Zelsis came out with his early predictions as well. He has the following going on. So he's got EG, MIBR, NRG, 2G getting the respective victories. And then, of course, he's got Sentinels winning the entire thing over G2. His final placements in the Americas go Sen G2, which, of course, therefore would be the two teams qualifying for Masters Bangkok. NRG in third, Cloud9 in fourth, Lev and EG in fifth or sixth, Crew and 2Game in seventh and eighth, and then he's got 100T, Loud, MIBR and Furia bombing out dead last in the tourney, which is, yeah, maybe a bit of a hot take. Absolutely a hot take, I think. Enter into your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk, though, about the Soup Valorant League. Now, I will say, Soup Live, or whatever they're called, the streaming platform this is on, have not done themselves a massive service today, I think, on some level, because it's not live on Twitch. You're watching on soup.live or whatever this broadcasting platform is called for some of these series. They need like one moderator in the chat, because the chat was kind of outrageous. But obviously the big game people are looking forward to today, Sentinels versus Gen.G. How's this one going to play out? This, as I say, is on soup.live or something. It had a, you know, several thousand viewers. This is the setup. It looks kind of lit. I mean, look at this setup, right, with the stages and everything. It's kind of fire. But yeah, maybe some things could be better. The tournament gets underway and Sentinels, they get the dub. 13-9 on the Pearl game 1. Very impressive. And then they took them down on the Abyss in a 15-13 banger overtime game. Zekken with a complete takeover here over Texture on the Jet. Very impressive work. So Sentinels, their team is really nice. I think Narrate was the player that probably impressed me the most here, right? Because it seems to me you just put Narrate on anything and he's going to be basically world-class at it. On the Omen, on the Killjoy, doesn't matter. He's going to be right up there. So that I thought was particularly impressive for him, the flexibility. And Gen.G, yeah, I don't like their roster as much as I liked their team last year, but it's still very good. We've seen that recently, and Sentinels took them down. It was close, but they did take them down. There was drama, though, on this map, right? Because Foxy9's PC gave up the ghost during the overtime game, and there was a massive technical delay that seemingly iced up the Sentinels guys. However, they went on to win regardless. And then Rob Moore decided to take to the timeline. The Twitter fingers were going out big time here. So Rob Moore says, seriously at Soup, you can't request a remake after the round ends. At Gen.G, sorry we knocked you out at Champs. And he says there's an expression in US sports, the bull doesn't lie. Gen.G claimed an issue with Euro TP after the round ended, which you cannot do. So, yeah, he's basically saying, look, the rules are, if you're going to say there's an issue with the game, you got to say it mid-round. You can't lose the round and then say, hey, we need to be replaying that one. So, look, whether the rules are fair or not, it's an interesting argument. Foxon had some PC problems, and the drama continues. So Gen.G Arnold, the CEO of Gen.G, so I do find this entertaining, right? You've not got players beefing on the timeline, you've got the owners. But he then comes on and says, you need to get your facts straight. We didn't call for a tech pause. Better team won today, GG's. So, yeah, he says we didn't actually call for it. It was just an issue with the whatever, and they decided to pause the game, and it did take some time to resolve. And Rob Moore, of course, you know, late night out there in California, is like, wow, I just lost 30 minutes of sleep, so that's unacceptable. That's why he's especially fuming, I imagine. So I thought that was very entertaining. But yeah, that's what Rob Moore had to say. This is what Zekken had to say. 2-0 Gen.G. Sorry for the long tech pause. I had to finish my Korean Duolingo lesson. Also, please don't send hate to the Gen.G players or staff. The tech pause issues were not on them, so seemingly not their problem. But yeah, it seems like it was a Euro teleport issue, and they were then like debating whether they can replay or whether they can't or whatever. And at the end of the day, they got the game back underway, and it was Sentinels that took the victory in the end. So impressive stuff, I thought, from Sen. We know how good Gen.G are, but we also know how good Sentinels are, and I thought they were probably the marginal favourites for this series. That's what we have seen so far. So, Sentinels Gen.G 2-0, great start for them. The other game currently going on the other side of the bracket there, of course, MIB, I was going to call them, MITH, made in Thailand, versus Talon Esports. Then we have tomorrow, Rapid Lofi, NRG, DRX, Billy, of course. But yeah, this series so far, pretty interesting. Game 1 was 13-7 on the Haven. And then let's have a quick look at the Soup Valorant League. I guess you just got to be careful here to see what the chat might be up to on the right-hand side if this ever actually wants to load. It's not the best platform, is it? Let's be honest here. It's still loading for me for some reason. Souplive.com. Does it actually want to load at all? Do we want to try anything, lads? Maybe not. Okay, it finally feels like it almost wants to load, but yeah, right now I can't even watch the game. So, brilliant stuff from, you can't watch this on Twitch or anywhere else. I'm trying to go onto their actual website, but it just doesn't work. So, yeah, I guess I'll be watching this through the VLR API, and right now it looks like Talon are up 5-0 on that split. So, yeah, who knows, but of course, Sentinels and Gen.G still the favourites, of course, to make it out of that group. But very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.